5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
They ain't never seen nothing like this before. Lit the room when I came through the front door. Ask me if I should overcome, what for? Train in the trees, please pardon my sycamore. Touch burning sands, cross lands, and stormy shore seasons in the year, yeah. Ain't no challenge for champions and chain no fear. Yeah, the champions here.
Thank you. Thank you for that. Yeah, I know. Yeah, I'm getting that from all over the place. Everybody's going, no sound, no sound. Ugh. See, I do that because the intro. I don't want anybody hearing me moving around doing my thing during the intro, so I put it on. I make sure that it's muted and everything's great, but then I've got to remember to do that. See, I'm in the dungeon. I'm in the dungeon. So the staff is, you know, way up high in the castle here. Way up high in Team Tiny Dancer headquarters in Grand Rapids, Michigan. And so at the beginning, that's like, what, the third time that thing's happened to me? For crying out stinking loud. Thunderdome Thursday. That's what I was saying. Welcome to Thunderdome Thursday. And I said it that hardcore, too. I promise. I swear. Cross my heart and hope to die. Stick a needle in this eye. It's going to be a great day. We have a lot for you. And because it's Thunderdome Thursday, you're going to need a couple things. Number one, you need to buckle in, buckaroos. You're going to have to do it. You're going to have to buckle in because we're going to go really, really, really fast. We're just going to go bam, bam, bam because there's a lot of news to talk about. Okay, there's the stuff happening, of course. Another dumb riot. I mean, and this one's the dumbest one, you know? Pretty much every riot is dumb. But once you get to the point where we know as much as we do right now about fentanyl, Floyd, and everything else, we know as much as we do, and it's still going on. It doesn't matter. Truth doesn't matter. Truth doesn't matter. So we're talking about that. We're going to talk about whether or not we're even a nation anymore. What is a nation? What is that? We got election news. Stuff going on in Michigan, for example. Good news, actually, for John James. I don't know if you're not following the story of John James. The guy's a superstar. He's a total superstar. Amazing guy. I actually got to see him once. He was on fire, man. He just lit the place up. Literally, it actually, one of the lights, something began melting and it was dripping down on the people, and everybody's, ah! Everyone's scared, terrified out of their mind. So we're going to talk about John James. We're going to talk about the Proud Boys, because they were in the news. Again, they've been trending ever since Kalamazoo, man. What was that, you know? What was that? I know a lot about that, actually. But, man, we also, it's not just, you know, the people. Anyone familiar with this show who's been following along knows that I am keeping on top of the animal rampage that's spreading all over the globe right now. And I had my staff on it. I told them, I said, look, we need to keep up with this. I don't know many other shows that are keeping up with the animal farm styled events that are taking place across the globe. But if you're watching this show, you are keeping abreast. So we're going to talk about that. A bunch of really, really great things. So let's just go right away. We're just going to do this right away. Open to surprises. So, speaking of surprises, Minnesota woman. And by the way, you can leave comments in the comment section anywhere you happen to be, whether it's Facebook, whether it is YouTube, Twitter, doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. There are many different platforms you can watch this program on. Make sure you comment, even if you think, man, I don't see anybody else commenting. I see them. I'm the wizard behind the curtain. I see all. Including this, Minnesota woman does 716 burpees in 1 hour for the world record. That's insane. I don't know if I could do 7 in an hour. I do like half one. I'm out of breath. I'm all like keeled over. Isn't it true? I'm wondering, you know, I didn't watch this video, But I'm wondering if it was the kind of burpees, where you go down and when you stand up, you do the jump and the knee tuck. Yeah. Wondering about that. Maybe it's a possibility. If it was, I mean, look, either which way. I mean, if she did the knee tucks, 716 burpees in an hour is impressive. If she did the regular burpees, yeah, I don't know about that. Yeah, world record. Ladies just rocking it. Here's someone who's not rocking it. Televangelist Jim Baker. He's not rocking at all. He is not rocking at all. Oh my gosh. I was amazed when this guy came back. There was like a nanosecond where I thought, oh, maybe Jim Baker learned his lesson. We all remember him, right? Don't we? Don't we remember this guy? Down here, Baker gained fame in the 1970s and 80s as the host of the PTL Club. Are any of you old enough to remember the PTL Club? I know one of the commenters here, Brian, I know he is. Yeah, it says right here. Oh, yeah, Brian says, we have our chai tea lattes ready. Let's go. Right? Yeah. Yeah, man. Thunderdome Thursday. That's what we're doing, buddy. Hardcore. Kind of like the criminality of Baker. That's on another level. Yeah, I thought for a nanosecond, I thought the guy, was okay. He went to jail, went to prison, right? Yeah, several years. Because the jury found that he defrauded his viewers out of millions of dollars. Look, anytime you turn on TBN, you kind of know that's what you're getting, right? I mean, isn't that just true? Like, you turn on TBN and you're like, I wonder if these guys are lying hucksters. You don't even have to wonder. It's like code for that. TBN is code. It means lying huckster. Scandalous goon. Yeah, but when he was in jail, he got out and he wrote this book. Was it called I Learned My Lesson or something like that? Thank you for the spanking, daddy kind of thing. Like, I mean, seriously, I thought he wrote a book where he was lamenting the idea of money in the ministry and what this does and the pull of that. The love of money is a powerful drug. It really is. You got roped back in. His son's a real wreck, too, if I remember right. I feel badly about that, too. I mean, his son's just off the deep end, man. Yeah, but the PTL Club, my dad, I don't know if my dad still has this, but my dad at one point had the PTL Bible, the study Bible. Yeah. Antifa our commie scum, you remember. Grifter has a picture of him next to it. Hey, Antifa our commie scum. Hey, man, I mentioned you on the show. I didn't mention you by name, though, right? But I mentioned it about the workday. I saw that comment, man. I'm keeping up with that. Saw the comment. I'm glad, dude, that you tune in and that this show helps your workday. You're obviously working extremely hard right now. Oh, I know you are, man. I know you are. Yeah, but look at this. So apparently his guest, the so-called natural health expert, Cheryl Selman, falsely implied that, what is it? The silver solution. The name of it. Silver solution. Colloidal silver stuff. And what do you guys think about colloidal silver, by the way? When I was going through this stuff with my daughter with cancer, when you deal with cancer in general, but especially childhood cancer, bro, you are going to get like a bazillion different ideas for, I think this is going to help your daughter. And it's all very well intentioned. And, we had a guy, we really liked him, and he was talking about colloidal silver. But, man, I thought I saw people turning blue. I could have swore I saw that. I don't know. Tell me in the comment section. What do you think about that? Says, apparently, the person on the show claimed that this would be effective in combating coronavirus. Quote, well, let's say it hasn't been tested on this strain of coronavirus, but it has been tested on other strains of coronavirus and has been able to eliminate it within 12 hours. Totally eliminate it, kills it, deactivates it. If you're going to TBN, man, for your scientific and medical stuff, you get what you get, man. I mean, it's, it is what it is. I mean, you don't want you don't want elderly, and this really is preying on the elderly because it really is a lot of old people that watch that stuff. Younger people, are there younger people that turn it on and go, dude, this show is dope, man, Jim Bakker? How many young people are actually doing that? Is that what the young guys are doing? Hey, fellow students, what are you guys doing? Oh, we're tuning in to Jim Bakker. Talking about colloidal silver. And talking about all the big buckets of food. Silver solution, quote, has been proven by the government that it has the ability to kill every pathogen it has ever been tested on, including SARS, and HIV. Wow. Yeah. 4 1-ounce bottles could be yours. A message on the screen said for just $80. I mean, look, that might actually be a deal. Look, if it actually eliminates, kills, and deactivates COVID and, SARS and HIV and all of that, hey, man, $80 for 4 4-ounce bottles? Dude, that is a stinking steal. It is a steal. But apparently the problem arose when selling a fake treatment for COVID-19 violated state and federal law. And on Tuesday, the state of Missouri, of all places, you know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? Of all places, Missouri filed a lawsuit against Bakker and his production company to stop them from advertising or selling Silver Solution and related products as treatments for coronavirus. There's got to be a way that you could, maybe pitch that. Yeah. So he's in deep doo-doo. By Wednesday, Bakker's website was no longer selling the solution. All these guys, man, all these, name it, claim it, flab it, grab it, tag it, bag it people. This is like their game, man. And it used to just be if you just sent in a letter with a prayer request, then they would give you a little hanky, that they cried on or something, and that would heal you. Or you could touch the screen. I mean, have you guys seen that? Where they're like, they put their hand up and they're like, just touch the screen right now. I've seen it, man. Yeah, a bazillion times. I mean, come on. What's the name of that book, man? Christianity in Crisis? Hank Canongraph. He's Eastern Orthodox now. I think he still goes by Bible Answer Man, though. I think. I'm not entirely sure. He's had an interesting story, but he wrote about these people. Just the raging amount of heresy for these people. Yeah. Crazy. Yeah. Cherie in the comment section said that lady's last name is Trouble with a capital T. Selman. Selman. Yes, it's totally true. It's like Creflo Dollar. Creflo Dollar, the money grabbing dude, on TV all the time talking about money. I'm thinking, is that guy's real name Creflo Dollar? He was like destined for this. If he changed his name to Creflo Dollar, I actually saw a handful of these kind of, these peddlers. I've seen many of them when I went to Christ for the Nations Bible College. We would have guest speakers every day, or what was it? Was it every day? Yeah, every day. They'd come in and you'd have a seminar, they'd do a sermon at the end of the day. You get together and everything. And it was, so I saw a lot of these guys come in, a lot of the people doing the same rigmarole. It's kind of like a traveling circus a little bit, right? Maybe more like carnies, fancy carnies. Very rich ones. And I saw a lot of them, but I saw Jesse Duplantis. And some of them have cool personalities. I got to admit that, on a strictly, on a level of strict entertainment. Can I admit that? Is that okay to admit, that these guys, sure, they're lying to old people and getting lots of money. And, it really is just preying on old people. But the thing is his personality was interesting. He's a vibrant guy. He's always saying, Jesse. He's like, Jesse's coming to town. Got a big smile. Smiles with all of his teeth. His perfectly white and aligned teeth. Very, very fancy hair, like $5,000 haircuts. But he was talking about having his private jet and how exciting it was, that people had been sowing their seed of faith into his ministry. And it had gotten to the point so many people had sown their seeds of faith. They planted those seeds that now the side of his plane said, Jesse! Oh, man. He's talking about how it was obvious that God was blessing his ministry because of his suits and because of his rings. And he put his hands up and he's showing. He's like, these are obvious, visible signs of that. So the same thing could be said about the mafia, I guess, right? Maybe Nation of Islam. All right. We're not going to show the video of this, obviously. But look, we're in the midst of a lockdown. We are in the midst of it. And, are we anymore? It's like we still say that. We've been acclimated, guys. We've been acclimated. They've duped us into this. But the schools still are. All these schools are afraid. They don't want to have live, in-person schooling. Ours does. They take precautions. And there are people, man, that they watch. They make sure. Yeah. There have been Karens. I think those kids are too close. They'll run from across the street. They'll run from across the street, and they'll get really close up to you. What are you doing so close to each other? And you're like, where'd you come from? I came from across the street to tell you that. Stop breathing on me. You're weird. I don't want to get your weird. It's afraid it's contagious. But yeah, apparently, they're doing all these Zoom calls for classes. And apparently a mom, she just walked right in. It's not always easy for parents to remember that their home is under constant surveillance while their kids sit in front of a camera on their laptops in the middle of the living room or kitchen. Most parents do their best to be quiet or give the kids as much privacy as possible, but there are always parents who like to be the center of attention. Yeah, okay, this is really a center. One mother inadvertently made herself the center of attention when she walked into a room naked. Yeah, right in the middle of a class. What makes this interesting, and this is a really good point, maybe you guys can relate to this. Most parents don't walk naked into a room with their young children. That's just, isn't that true? So it's not surprising that Tavion's teacher was shocked when his mother appeared naked in front. And that's even weirder. Like, okay, maybe if it's the boys. You know what I'm saying? Moms, maybe you understand if it's just, the daughter in the house or something, when you got to go to the laundry basket and you just got to the shower, whatever, towel somehow. I don't know. I guess I can imagine a scenario where someone might, but Tavion's mom, say it ain't so, man. Say it ain't so. There's a video of that. Oh my gosh, yes. I don't know, did you guys catch this, man? Surveillance camera catches mother suspected of driving under the influence, plowing through home, and the kitchen with kids in the car. If I've got a video, yeah, I'm going to show a video of this. Let's see this here. Let's go ahead and just put this right here on the screen. You guys got to see this, man. It's mind-boggling. Here we go. Oh. Unbelievable. One more time. We got to see this, man. This is crazy. Just watch. Okay, so normal day. Oh, my God. What the heck? Oh. What house is put out like that? What's going on with this? What is this? Oh, it's in slow motion. Okay. Unbelievable, man. Unbelievable. Yeah. Kids were in the car and everything, man. Kids were in the car. Comment section talking about the people who have the appeal, the hucksters. They're charismatic. That is the appeal. People enjoy that good feeling like a drug. Yeah, man. It's true. And you can see that too. I mean, a lot of people, and that's actually interesting you say that because it kind of affects people that way. A lot of people, when they go in, you can see individuals and they're like, man, my back when I came in, I was, I pulled it reaching down, to plug in my Rascal at home. And, it's just been hurting. And now they're good, and they're like jumping up and down, breathing heavily. They still got the diabetes, but they're there, and they get that energy, that burst of adrenaline. And they're all pumped up, and they feel great, and they're crying. And it's so emotional, man. The catharsis of the whole thing. It's a powerful environment. I was part of the revival movements. And there's some people in the comment section that know about this. They were part of it too. That part of the revival movements in the mid-90s, right? You had the Toronto Blessing, and you had the Pensacola Outpouring, the Brownsville Revival in Florida. So they were two very different things. The stuff in Toronto, that's where you had the laughter, drunkenness in the spirit. Okay, what was his name? Rodney Howard Brown. He's still around, man. He's still around. He's actually been to the White House. I saw him on Infowars. He was on Infowars. I also saw him. He got arrested. He was one of those guys that said he wasn't going to shut the church down during lockdowns. You got to give him credit, give him props for that. Mega church guy. But the laughter, it eventually devolved into this thing with barking. There was the holy barking, and there was slithering like a snake. They were doing dragon stuff. I mean, it was all weird. No, I'm so sorry. They were not doing anything dragon. They were roaring like a lion, right? And they were rah, and people rah, and everybody's laughing. And, these people are all like in suits and stuff too, which is really a weird optic to see, by the way. An out of control, hysterical person that you may be like, isn't that my dentist? Isn't that my lawyer? Isn't that the judge? It's true. It can get everybody. It can. But I remember that, I was part of that, man. I was into the shaking and stuff. I got out of it though, man. And I don't want to throw anybody under the bus because I care about these, I care about people. But there was a time where stuff really devolved, man. I mean, it's one thing to be laughing. It's another thing to be doing the shaking like uncontrollably. And that's old school, man. It's like straight up shaker stuff for real. The Quakers and the Shakers. And so this is old school, but they turned into this birthing thing. I remember seeing ladies up in the front of the church, and it was birthing. And I don't believe that was real. It was talking about giving birth to spiritual souls, and the person, they were looking for manifestations, and they're very well-intended people. I care about them as people. But even at the time, I sat there and I said, I don't know about that. Because there was a lot of heavy breathing going on. I said, take that and maybe in another room. Is there a birthing room in this church? So, but those were the days, man. I remember in school, last thing I'll say about that, I remember being at Christ for the Nations. What was his name? John Arnott. Was that his name? From the Toronto Airport Vineyard. He showed up to Christ for the Nations. And the question came up, about, well, what's up with all the barking and everything? And his answer was, well, a lot of these people are, new believers and everything. And that's true. That happens during these times of awakening and revival. It's a lot of these people are new, or they're renewed people. They come back. And he said, what? He said, this is amazing. He said in front of like 4,000 people, 3,000 people. He said, what does a puppy do when the master is coming home? And everybody's like, oh, wow. And because it was charismatic school, charismatic Pentecostal, and everybody's kind of buying into it. I'm thinking to myself, well, if they're, new believers and everything, they might like pee themselves. I don't know. Everybody's starting putting down newspapers. Just crazy. This is crazy right here. Moving along. Firefighters called the university house to rescue student trapped in tumble dryer. True story. Let's see this. Look at this. She got stuck. They dared her to get in. Oh, there they are. There they are, trying to help her. Yeah, trying to help her. Apparently, her friends dared her to get in. And she's like, oh, it doesn't look like it's going to be hard. But then she crossed her legs. And when she did that, cross-legged, she got stuck. And the firefighters had to come. It was hilarious. What's the quote? She's all happy afterward. Student admitted not knowing how to work the machine. Your mom failed you. There's a book. Go back to my last episode in the meme section at the end. There is a book about being a good housewife. Talks about cleaning and everything else. Very good book. I strongly encourage it. You should read it. And, I wouldn't advise that for, I would advise it for all the ladies. But for her especially, I mean, if you get stuck inside of one of these things, then you say, I didn't know how to use it. Yeah, you need to read that. Need to read the book. She said they gave us a fire safety brief and asked if we knew what to do if there was a fire. I remember learning to stop, drop, and roll, but I don't know how relevant that is when you're inside a dryer. They're probably thinking if you are dumb enough to get stuck in a dryer, you may have never learned something as basic as stop, drop, and roll. Maybe you should have thought about that. Amazon removes distasteful coronavirus Halloween mask from sale. Look at these. Are these really that distasteful? Are they? Would you wear that? I mean, look at the one on the right. I mean, they're both kind of cool. The one on the right, I think, would be cooler if it wasn't like the orange with the red eyes because, it makes it hard to see. I like the one on the left because it emphasizes the crazy, diabolical eyes of the coronavirus. Halloween masks made to look like COVID-19 virus have been pulled from sale after complaints. They made light of the killer disease. You could say that about almost anything in any Halloween costume. You're making light of mass murderers and slashers. People walk around. You're making light of that. I mean, what a dumb argument, right? People are real wusses. They were listed for sale. Oh, from China, of course. Yeah, right. Well, they know. And maybe they know how much of a joke that is. I don't know. With the title Corona Halloween Mask and Corona Latex Horror Mask. One person wrote, I've no doubt the great majority of people will find them hugely distasteful. I can't imagine that many people would wish to wear one. Oh, you can't imagine that? Boy, your imagination sucks. I can easily imagine that. And you know what? She's like, I can't imagine many people would want to do it, so I'm going to make sure they can't. That's a Karen. That is a Karen. You know what? I had a problem with this site earlier. Unbelievable. This is upsetting. Because this is a good story, man. About a brown bear breaking into an Alaska zoo. There we go. There we go. SF Gate, get your stuff under control. Let's switch up this thing here. I'm going to switch up the banner so you can see more of this. There we go. Brown bear breaks into the Alaska Zoo, kills popular alpaca. I'm telling you guys, I've been warning you. It's on, and I have a theory. It's a possibility. It's a possibility that the alpaca were defectors. Because this is a global scheme, guys. This is a global scheme. Yeah. Apparently this bear just out of control. Some of the comments real quickly. Orlando, I think that scientists should study oleandrin as a treatment. With the Russiagate, it's hard to tell what the truth is. I don't trust the media and experts who are political. It's a good point. We talk a lot, in fact, on the show about how scientists have been drinking the Kool-Aid, and how there's a lot of them, and how peer review there's a lot of genuine, good, solid criticisms of the reliability of a significant amount of peer-reviewed, quote-unquote, peer-reviewed papers. We've talked about that on the show. I agree. It can get really tough. It can get really tough. Brian talking about the revivals in the 90s. The feel-good feeling was real. Dude, yes. so many, man. It was a crazy thing. I'll talk sometime, maybe, do a video or do a segment specifically on like revivalism. Cause I think we're approaching another one. I've been saying, what is it? What have I been calling that? Third Great Awakening? Saying that, but unlike the Great Awakenings of the past, I have hope that the coming Great Awakening, that when that happens and people begin to see the wickedness and evil on a mass scale, which is already beginning to happen. That's why this show is doing as well as it is. And a lot of shows like ours. And that's why we're being attacked all the time. Censored constantly by the powers that be. That's why. Because we're not just fighting against Zuckerberg and company. Right? These are principalities of darkness on a spiritual realm. But this great awakening that I hope is going to come, and that I believe will, even just historically, you can see how God kind of works in time. That it's not going to fall prey to the antinomianism that and the kind of lawless feel-good thing that goes on with these revivals of the past. Because when that happens, it's like feeling really sorry for having done a sin, but not doing anything and putting anything in your life that ensures that you've changed course for the future. And that's what these revivals did. You can look at the statistics specifically regarding infidelity and childbirth. The data's there. When I was told that my asthma wasn't being healed because of my lack of faith, I had to get out. I knew people like that. I was in a relationship with somebody where it was because of something like that. This idea that, your lack of faith is what did this to you. People said that my brother's accident, my brother, when he was 6 years old, was in a car accident with my dad. Closed head injury, coma, almost died. Doctors said he would. Asked if we desired to pull the plug. We did not. Thank God for that. My brother is an amazing guy, but he's kind of 6 years old in a lot of ways. For the rest of his life, I may one day be the caregiver for my brother, the guardian. But my parents were told that maybe it was because of a sin in their life that happened. I wanted to I don't like to say, I want to punch somebody. I'm not like Chris Cuomo. I joke around and say I want to grab people by the ears and blah in their face kind of thing. It's better than just whacking a dude. You know what I'm saying? Better than just whacking a dude. But in that moment, and that was a lady, man. I'm not gonna lie. I kind of wanted to pop her right in the jaw. Say, lady, make one of those whips that Jesus did and start with get out of here. You're a loon bird. And she was a loon bird. Bethany wrote, it's definitely good stuff. I'm talking about silver. Antiviral, bacterial, all the bad stuff binds to it. Gets the heck out of your body. I would need to see some data on that. Yeah, Deja. Oh, what's going on, Deja? I saw a comment from Deja talking about missing the show. And what did I miss? Oh, he missed a bunch. If you miss any of these. But you know what? On the plus side, they're all there. And so am I. They're all there. You can go back and you can also go forward because I'm here. Yeah. She goes on and says, Michael Myers is my spirit guide. Don't listen to these people. Exactly. Justin Hale, there are some big problems with the FDA, which thankfully Trump has whittled away. Self-described skeptics actually are scientistic. They are the most susceptible to this fatal conceit. That's what happens when you're in a cult, man. It's true, Justin. You're right. Totally true. And I'm asked if I've seen the Karen Halloween masks. Yes. Oh, yeah. KMO, was this an evangelical revival? Yes, this was. The revivals that I was talking about were the ones from 1996. They're Pentecostal charismatic. Vineyard, the airport vineyard in Toronto. And the first assembly, it was an Assembly of God, I believe. An Assembly of God down in Brownsville or Pensacola, Florida. Yep. So, okay. Moving along. It's Thunderdome Thursday. We gotta move. There's a lot of stories. Okay, now this was sent to me by one of our people. This is what's worrisome, guys. This is what worrisome, because this bear is, not remotely afraid. Is walking on back, which they can do, but I think that this one has just given up walking on four at all and is just completely reports and rumors speculate. That's what's going on. And everyone's freaking out. Look at this. They're all freaking out. You got to watch out for this stuff. You don't know what he's going for. You think he's going for a stroll? We have too much evidence on this show that is not what's going on. Oh my gosh. Dolphins are getting into it. Deliberately getting high on pufferfish nerve toxins by carefully chewing and passing them around. This is a crazy story. You should go and read it. It's at the Independent. Dolphins are super smart, right? Super, super high. Yeah, they're super high. Yeah, they're super smart and they're super high. Yes, it's true. It's true. There's a documentary, I guess, this new documentary, and there's these young dolphins that were seen carefully manipulating a certain kind of pufferfish, which, if provoked, releases a nerve toxin. Now, the nerve toxin can be deadly, right? But the thing is, it's also known, according to this article, to produce a narcotic effect. And the dolphins appear to have worked out how to make the fish release just the right amount. Carefully chewing on the puffer and passing it between one another, the marine mammals then enter what seems to be a trance-like state. This is worrisome, guys. There's a theory that we came to be what we are because people were, eating shroomy shrams, or eating those. I don't subscribe to that, but it's out there. It's out there. And so you just know, look, I mean, we have the Garden of Eden. We have the knowledge of good and evil. Okay? And so, it's the idea that they become aware there's this consciousness expanding thing going on. What's going to happen to these intelligent creatures, man, once they've been seeing the little green people like Joe Rogan? What's going to happen, man? Hi, Joe kids, man. You better be watching out for dolphins, dude, at the ocean. Well, I think you probably should anyway. I heard they can be pretty intense. Pretty intense. Speaking about intense, it was unbelievable. Weekend duffer gored by freaked out elk in Colorado. This right? Is this an actual? No. Yeah, that's not like somebody was there. That'd be a crazy photo op there. But I mean, that is, that's at this course apparently the kind of thing that goes on. That guy's awfully darn close. I'm surprised he didn't get gored. You know what I'm saying? Doug asks, is this like a puffer pass warning for drugs? Oh my gosh. I can imagine, what is it, Chris Tucker? I can imagine him on Friday saying that. He doesn't say that stuff anymore. He doesn't do any of that stuff anymore. Yeah. Yeah, puffer pass warning, dude. Yes. Wait till the dolphins start making commercials, man. Like, what would that sound like in dolphin? This is your brain on drugs. Like, what is that? What, you guys translate that for me. I gotta actually hold on a second. Let me see if this is working. Let me see if she's on. Yo, Allie. She might not be on. I think I. Yeah. I need you to try to translate and go on Google Translator and find out, look up, they've got like Latin and Spanish and stuff. Look up dolphin and put in the words, this is your brain on pufferfish. All right. Yeah. She's on it. She's on it. Oh my gosh. I love her. Yeah. Yeah, but apparently, I mean, this elk, these guys, they're wrapping it up. Look at this guy. He's looking real sad. Look at him. Super sad dude. Yeah. They gored him, man. Ended up really jacking the guy up badly. What did it say, man? Something about his kidney. wasn't it? The elk gored him on the right side of his body. Unbelievable. Disoriented elephant seal wanders streets of Chilean town. That's what I'm saying. It's not just the bears, guys. We've been talking about the bears. It's not just the bears. Apparently, it's also, let's see this thing. Oh, it's got a video. Okay, let's see. Whoa. Can you imagine this? He's getting to the insurrection meeting. Or maybe he's pulling a Paul Revere, you know what I'm saying? The animals are coming. Oh my gosh. Just look. Okay. Look at that. I don't even know what I would do. I would record it. Dude, I'd be hiding. Be out of there. And we're making it worse for ourselves. Because we've got these situations where people like this guy, they're bringing geese to the pub and stuff, claiming people like it. This guy's a traitor. He's a traitor. I'm going to skip over some of these. I mean, you got emus. We'll talk about those things later. So keep, whoa. Okay, time travel is theoretically possible. Oh, and look, I'm telling you guys. I'm telling you. This little bugger right here looks like he's the one who concocted this plan. And how did he even get that anyway? That's the DeLorean. How did he get that? What kind of car manufacturer is going to make that for him? And dude, it's above ground. It looks like it can float. Yes, animals are totally revolting. We're going to be covering a lot more of this as time goes. So I don't, there's a lot more. I'm not gonna belabor the point with this. Okay. Okay. Yeah. I guess there's one more. Sorry about that. It's gotten bad, guys. Dog elected mayor of Kentucky town. Finally, a candidate we can all believe in. This is over at pawculture.com. And if you've got these stories, if you're following the animal insurrection right now, that's all over the globe, you have to let me know. Send it to paleocratdiaries@gmail.com. Okay. Actually, we're going to go ahead and put this back up here. There we go. Apparently, according to Lex 18, an NBC affiliate in Kentucky, a small community named Rabbit Hash. What? Rabbit Hash? Puffer fish for dolphins, hash for rabbits. This might actually be the epicenter of it all. We need to get on this stat, folks. Road trip to Rabbit Hash. A 3-year-old pit bull named Puerto. What? Will take office from current mayor Lucy Liu. This isn't even the first one. A border collie who happened to be the town's first female in that position. Oh. This ain't right, guys. This is not right. As announced on the Rabbit Hash Historical Society website, Puerto won her position with a tally of 3,367 insane people voting. Oh. Oh my gosh. There's lead in the water, guys. There's lead in the water. Bryneth's owners say that she's a rescue dog. She loves tennis balls and licking people. Is this place real, dude? Hold on a second. Hold on. We got to look this up. Rabbit Hash. Let's go here. And then we get serious, guys. Rabbit Hash Mayor. There we go. Okay. First mayor. Goofy Bornerman? Goofy Bornerman Calhoun. His name was Goofy? Succeeded by Junior. Dude, this is not real. What is up with this place? Population 315. So what are dead people voting now? Dogs? What's going on with this? It's an unincorporated community. in Boone County, Kentucky. I wonder, I wonder if Rand Paul's ever been through there. He's like, oh yeah, Rabbit Hash. Succeeded by Lucy Liu, current mayor, Gwyneth Paltrow. This is real, dude. We have confirmed. It's confirmed. Oh my gosh. We got to get out of this. We got to get on to some serious news. Okay, so last night. Oh, and for this stuff, I'm going to have to drink coffee. This is crazy. Ugh. I may as well just drink the coffee out of the jug today. Forget the straw. The world is going down in flames. Professor, plexiglass dividers at Pence-Harris debate are a joke. Did any of you guys watch that? Was anybody like, yeah, Biden-Harris, woo! Like, look, I've seen Pence. Yeah, and I said, yeah, the Pence-Harris debate. Sorry about that. Biden-Harris debate. A little bit. I mean, do they even agree with each other on this stuff? Or is it like she's like preparing, saying, I am going to be president, so I may as well just go out on a limb. But there were plexiglass dividers. Total weirdos, man. Jose Luis Jimenez, a chemistry professor at the University of Colorado at Boulder, is none too impressed with the plexiglass dividers meant to combat the possible spread of Chinese coronavirus at Wednesday evening's debate between Vice President Mike Pence and Democrat vice presidential candidate Senator Kamala Harris. Perhaps the ventilation rate is very high in that debate hall, he said, and thus the risk to the debate participants is low, but they're sending the message to millions of people that talking indoors without a mask is safe, so long as enough distance is kept. If it were up to him, he would like to see the debate take place outdoors, to tell Americans that every activity that can be moved outdoors should be done outdoors with enough distance. Man. I saw some highlights from the debate. Yeah, it's like seeing highlights of, 4th and 5th grade basketball game. You know what I mean? Like, if you're related to them, you're all like, yeah, this is exciting. But if you're not, you kind of are like, well, they're cute, but we're moving on. We're moving on past that. I would normally say I'm moving on to something with the NBA, but people ain't watching that. They're done. They're done. It's gotten real rough. Real rough. But it was overshadowed. And it's got to be a bummer in a way. Pence in his kind of milquetoasty way, he's got a certain charm about him, right? A certain charm. And I saw him, I saw him in person, I was a VIP at one of the rallies. In fact, it was the one with John James where everything went off the wall and we had to have the fire department come in to try to fix that light that was, stuff was just, I'm talking super hot metal just dripping, or glass dripping. But it got overshadowed by riots, dumb riots again, because ex-Minneapolis police officer charged in George Floyd's death posted $1 million bail and released from jail. Now, here's the thing about this. Number one, aren't we far enough into this that we all just see through what's happening? Isn't that the way this goes? That we're like, oh, okay, like this is another one of these things where you've got another hands up, don't shoot, phony baloney nonsense that never happened. You've got the whole group, Trayvon. That whole thing's phony, man. Go watch. There's a documentary about it. That girlfriend ain't his girlfriend. You were lied to. This whole idea that police are just going down, getting after black people left and right, is a lie. It is a lie. Easily verifiable lie. Even groups that are supportive of all this, that say, maybe that's all propaganda. Maybe we help to perpetuate it. But we're going to tuck in a little something that at least admits that we know we're lying. Groups like the Washington Post, for example. It's obvious. It's obvious that this is crazy. But I guess I do have one question. Like, where did he get that $1 million? It's a good question. It's a lot of money, guys. It's a lot of money. I think it might have something to do with the backstory. What was it called? The El Nuevo Rodeo? What was that place called? The cantina that him and George Floyd worked for. The one that got wrapped up in a big thing to do with counterfeit money. That's kind of weird. Years ago, by the way. Years ago. It's kind of weird. Because what did George Floyd, what did he get wrapped up with? What got him busted? Not the month before, that was a lot of drugs. And this wasn't even the crack pipe that was in his pocket. What actually wasn't the crack pipe, wasn't the pills in his mouth that he's swallowing that were causing him to be unable to breathe, by the way. This is going to come out. This is all going to come out. It's been just absolutely irresponsible recklessness. Even on behalf of otherwise decent people. Otherwise decent people. I know a lot of them. They're sensitive like most American people. They don't want to be considered a bad person. They oppose racism. They oppose white supremacy. They have their entire lives. The majority of Americans, a vast majority, overwhelming majority of Americans. That's just true. It's just true. And they don't want to be roped in with any idea that maybe, even if unwittingly, they endorse supremacy. So they buy into these narratives and they begin sharing all the fists. And it doesn't take long. And if you're on my side of the thing, you're going, look, guys, this is a merry-go-round. This is a merry-go-round. This is like the bazillionth time we've seen this. It's the same crap. It's the same lies. And you're going to find out. And just wait. You ought to do that anyway. It's proverbial truth. If you hear an argument at first, it sounds really good. Wait and hear what the response is to that. But nobody does. And now, tons of people just right away. He should get maybe the death penalty. These are the same people that are opposed to the death penalty. Crazy. But it's counterfeit money. It was counterfeit money that got him in trouble. I didn't know, man. What do you mean? What was that even about? Why are you saying I didn't know? Homeowner confronts armed rioters smashing homes in Wisconsin. Dylan asks, so we don't think George Floyd was murdered by a cop. For one, that's actually divided on that by people who did an autopsy. If someone says, well, look, the family ends up talking about it. There was a ridiculous amount of drugs. Try doing those drugs. Just try. There was a crack pipe in his pocket. The people who were in the car with him that were, by the way, they were not resisting arrest. The people in the car with him. The people in the car with him by the wall. And what did they say about him? What did they say? Did they say he's in good shape? Maybe with his muscles. But was he, in that moment, was he in a good condition? And why was he saying he couldn't breathe when he was in his own car? Or before laying on the ground? Why was he saying that? Why was he having trouble breathing? Why was he so erratic? I know people on drugs, man. I've done them. I have done them. And a month before, overdosed from fentanyl? And he admitted to be doing it every day. What was he doing? Was he sniffing it? Whatever. So to sit there, look, it doesn't mean that it was that's a good procedure to keep a person down or that nobody should have done anything. But the idea, I mean, look, I'm of the persuasion that there is a legitimate possibility that if they would have done nothing and left him in the car, if he would have, let's say, sat in the car, that he'd be a dead man right now. Oh yeah, he had drugs in his system, dude. He was dropped. There's for one, was he carrying his crack pipe around for fun? Dude, you can see pictures of this now. We've got pictures of it. They've done this and they've done analysis where you can even see that he's taking out a little itsy baggie, the bunch of white stuff. You can see the pill in his mouth, which is what he did, by the way, when he got arrested the month before. That's not to bust on him, man. I mean, look, the lead singer of Stone Temple Pilots years ago got pulled over, and when they got up to the car, he had his pants down to his knees and a crack pipe going up, the thing. Going up the old brown eye. Desperate measures, man. It was desperate measures. But the idea that this person was in any state whatsoever, no, phony baloney. That's as phony as hands up, don't shoot. That is fake, dude. Nobody should ever, if anybody says hands up, don't shoot, you have to know what is propaganda. What is that? What is the strength and the power and the hold of false narratives? What is that? How can that frame the way that people will behave? If people believe that that is something that happens all over, they just don't know. They don't know statistically that that is BS. It's just simply not true. I don't know any other way to put that. If you look at the statistics, you look at the statistics and you go, okay, how many people are there? For anything, we do this with the lightning strikes. That's why we say, well, it's like being struck by lightning. That's why we say this, because there's probability rates of things. And you say, how many people are there who are black in the United States? How many people out of those people were unarmed and killed last year? And what percentage is that? And when we figure out the percentage of that, can we compare it to other things and say, what is the probability that that is going to happen to you? If somebody we knew, by the way, was terrified every day, I don't know, and they're having serious conversations with the kids, you just don't know, man. If you see clouds, you might be struck by lightning. It's out to get us. We would say that person is not only really messed up, we'd say, look, let's calm you down. Let's actually talk about the statistical probability of that happening to you. But let's also talk about not scaring the crap out of your children. Dylan says you don't have to be on drugs to have a crack pipe in your pocket. Upside down smiley face, dude. You're good. You're good, buddy. Yeah. But this is what it turns into. I think there's a video of this. Let's see. Is that the only one? I want to get the one. There was one in particular that I wanted to get. Let's see. I think it's the one up here. Let's see.
You don't even know who.
Yeah, listen to this conversation.
What you're doing, it doesn't.
I don't know if there's any swear words. I apologize.
You have no idea. Do you know how many Democrats, how many MPS teachers, union members, other people that could support you live on this street? And you're going to let him ride through my yard? Oh, do you? Show some respect.
What would you do, by the way?
Did they push him into my yard?
What would you do in this situation?
Police your protest, which I know you're all capable of. We can all have differences. You have no
They don't even realize what they're doing, by the way.
Who supports you and who doesn't? Please push it this way. All right.
Look, I mean, this guy's begging him. He's like, you don't even know what you're doing. He's like, we have a lot of union people. In other words, we're Democrats. We're out there marching with you guys. We support you guys. People, man, people going up onto individuals, and these are just regular people, went up to their property because they had an American flag. You can watch the video. They had an American flag. Uh-oh. Let's get them. Right in their front yard. Throwing things through their windows. Dude, they're regular people. They had nothing to do with that. And yes, I wish that I could say that this isn't a debate over the probability, but it is, which is why people are going, they're targeting black men. No, they aren't. No, they are not. That, in fact, that's so outrageous. And especially because the officer in this case and George Floyd knew each other because they worked at the same place. They were security at the same cantina. Oh, you think he's just targeting him because he's black? No. It's more likely, look, if you want to say there was a personal grudge, more likely. You want to say it's because Floyd was using counterfeit money that may have been connected with that cantina. That's technically more likely. But the idea that this was like, he's a black guy. Dude, they'd worked together for years. No complaints. In fact, even Crump, the attorney, was baffled by this. Had to admit it on the air and said, there's a lot of questions, we're a little confused by. We may never have answers to it. And you definitely won't now because the place went up in flames. But that's what the talk is about. Is about probability. That's why we had that cultic thing, the talk. It's not, if someone says that it's not acceptable, that this happens to anybody, okay, or it's not acceptable that it happens to black people. The question would be, why that? And it's going to boil down to the number, because if you just limit it to one, if you say it's not acceptable for anybody at all, then you're in the whole world of all lives matter. Either way, pick your poison. It's confirmed they never interacted on the job. Dude, you're both working in security for a while in a small venue. And it would be hard to find out. As I said, now, and it's hard to trust, by the way, the cantina, because most of the time, whenever the cantina is talked about and people go on TV, there's a woman that goes on and talks about it. She's a former owner. I don't even believe she owns it anymore. Which is the question. She has no financial, that we know on the books, affiliation with that business. There's a good case to be made that particular business was involved in the counterfeiting of very small bills, right? Very small denominations. And the reason for that is most likely because that area of the United States is completely, it's kind of like an epicenter for a lot of homeland security things, right? Since 9/11, okay? And they do a lot of these tracking things with money, because the question comes up, why would you have such small denominations? It would technically cost you more to print it. It'd be riskier business to print it. But the idea is to see how it flows, right, on a smaller scale, like the people that aren't, you're not talking mafia per se. Maybe terrorists and gun runners, stuff like that. Case to be made. But these riots overshadowed the VP debate. Yeah, this is the video right here of the home. Is that the only one? Where is it? It's hard. Oh, let's see this one.
You don't even know
No, that's the one we just saw. Sorry about that. Yeah, so they're throwing projectiles. Let's find out here. Windows in homes. Here we go. Look at that. Just walking up to random people's homes, throwing bricks in. They don't know, by the way, if there's a child. I think that people who do that should be charged the same way that somebody should be charged, or similarly to someone being charged with a drive-by shooting. You throw a brick into somebody's window and there's a baby, by my child. We have one of those little rockers, little Wolfgang. He's by a window. If somebody threw a brick through that window and that bugger came through, that could jack him up. It could kill him. It could kill him. This whole thing that this is a remedy for the problem is like saying we have a real problem with infidelity, so I'm going to become a prostitute. Makes no sense, man. Makes no sense. This makes sense. President Trump pledges to return all U.S. troops from Afghanistan by Christmas. I hope that this is true. And that, of course, is entirely contingent on a second term. But I've been supporting this for a very, very long time. We should have a small remaining number of our brave men and women serving in Afghanistan home by Christmas. By the way, thank you very much, Jason, for promoting the sharing of the show. That's the best way you can support the show. I mean, of course, you can become a member. You know, we've had recent members. I am grateful for each and every one of those, because 100% of the money that we make on this program goes towards my kids' education. I don't use any of it for myself. Zero. I have other streams of income for that. But we have to make sacrifices. And I thought, I don't just want to just cut back and begin saying, well, what can we save and cut here and there? Because it was still like, man, we got to do something. Because we believe in this. We believe in sending our kids to this particular school, Sacred Heart Academy. But we have to do something, be proactive. And I figured, you know what? I can do this. I can do this. So I decided to put it together. And so we make these sacrifices, but this is all supplemental, all of this to what we ordinarily would make. So all of this money, I said, look, it's going to obviously help us by offsetting what we would ordinarily take out, but we're not at that place where I would be making anything. There's no profit. No profit yet to this thing. And I hope I didn't just destroy the entire myth that I'm like, that I have a swimming pool full of gold coins that I swim in like Scrooge McDuck. Oh, man. I may have just outed myself. Yeah, Cherie says that she shares every day. Thank you so much, by the way, for that. I'm grateful for that. I know a couple other people. And, you know, I'm grateful for the ladies, too, man. Guys, obviously, you know, a lot of this is stuff, you know, politics and stuff like that. But I am very encouraged, actually, even inspired by the number of women who are getting on board with this and sharing it with their friends and their family. It's powerful. Divas, man. Powerful, powerful divas. Let's see here. This is a good bit of news. Puerto Rico Governor Wanda Vasquez endorses President Donald Trump. You know what's interesting about this? If you remember, remember all of the fomenting going on in the aftermath of Hurricane Maria? And everybody's saying, Donald Trump, you're not doing enough for Puerto Rico. You're letting them all down. You're a racist. You're a sexist. Oh, it's kind of weird. Because now we've got Governor Vasquez. Kind of makes the whole racism and sexism thing look pretty dumb. Just does. At least on this one. Of course, it's like a moving target. You know, they move the goalposts all the time. You got to swat it down, which is why this show, I don't like doing that. This right here, for example, to me, in the sense of like debating people and trying to make a point, it's like fruit of a tree. And I can say, well, look at this fruit. And someone will go over to another fruit and try to cut that one down, try to cut the other one down. And that's why this show goes after the root. Dealing with things on a paradigm level. Talking paradigms, kids. Pollster who shows Trump ahead nationally says Florida is almost out of reach for Biden. We learned in 2016 and before, you can see Ann Coulter's book Slander, that the Democrats use polls to manipulate elections. We now know they lie and spy and create scandals in an effort to gain power. Over the weekend, one pollster who's apparently not part of the Democrat media complex released numbers showing President Trump is ahead of Joe Biden nationally and in almost every category. It breaks it down. Poll Watch. I thought some of this was interesting, and you know, I would like to hear what people have to say if they want to go and look at it themselves and say, well, I think that he's right about this or wrong about that. I'd love to hear it. But Basham from Democracy Institute shifted their polling from a two-way to a four-way race. He believes that some people are, quote, parking their votes with third-party candidates. He senses some of these will move back to Trump or Biden, but that more will actually go to Trump. He also thinks more undecideds will go for Donald. And statistically, that's probable. Basham believes in the shy Trump voter. There's another term for this. You know, like with, you know, when they talk about polling and when you call, you know, you call somebody and you're trying to get information, you know, who you going to vote for kind of thing. And a lot of these Trump voters, they don't want to answer that question. They're nervous about that. And there's a technical term for that. The shy Trump voter is not only real, it is larger than last time. Bashar believes this is not just a rural voter under a haystack. Quote, the shy Trump voter is much more likely to be, in fact, an African American in an urban setting or a suburban white woman. I don't know if you can hear my son up there. He's ticked off. He wants to come down here, man. Probably him and my dog. They're probably standing at the gate, man. They don't want to see you, Pop. Little Lucian. But yes, African Americans, yes. And you're seeing more and more of this. More and more and more. Hispanics, they're not even hiding it anymore. It's like, nope, we reject the entire thing to do with, you know, this racial identitarianism. They're done with it. And they generally, by a significant number, a freaky number for Democrats, biting their nails, a significant number of them, a very important number of them, say, of course we support restrictive immigration. Of course we do, because we know that those essentially function like scabs. Those are people that can be paid on the cheap and on the DL. So not only is it taking away jobs that they've got, unionized or otherwise, you know, but on top of that, it's affecting schooling, taxes, and they don't like getting lumped in. They say, look, they know people are getting these fake Social Security numbers. They know it. Here, hold on. He actually says more, I think. On younger voters, there's an assumption, and some of these assumptions may be wrong. But given this model, we believe there are going to be significantly fewer younger voters. We think there will be at least 1 million fewer voters from that group in total. It's easy, by the way. It is easy to get online and to clickety-clack your way to activism. Click-clacktivists. It's easy to do that. To signal to all your friends. Social media makes it easy. You got emojis. You got emojis that make it super simple and hashtags that make it super simple. And then you're in the clear because you're saying all the words and all the thoughts just right. It's easy. Oh, gross. This is not easy to handle. This is just gross. Is that Schumer? Is that Chris Rock? And who is that guy? He's looking hungry. Is he a mukbanger? The guy on the right. Who is that? He's looking down either at some delicious baby back ribs or an empty plate. In a bizarre move, celebrities including Chris Rock, Tiffany Haddish, Amy Schumer, Josh Gad, Sarah Silverman, Mark Ruffalo, Chelsea Handler. Oh, this is like Naomi Campbell. This is a list of very terrible people that right now nobody cares about. Nobody cares about you. You can't go to the theater. You don't care about that person the same way. Ask a boxer. If a boxer is no longer in the ring. Have you guys not seen Rocky? Oh, it's the guy who does the voices of Olaf. What a joke. You know, a lot of these people I just like better as cartoons. When they're pretending to be somebody that doesn't suck, right? You're like, oh, you're Olaf, so you only suck like when you're being you. No. Too bad. But, you know, watch the movie Rocky. You know, Apollo, he's not in the ring anymore. Nobody's coming to him anymore. They don't really care. They're going after the people that are in there taking the hits. Rocky feels the same thing later. He's got to leave. So what is he going to do? Well, he's got to end up, you know, he starts his own place in Mac's old facility, the boxing ring. So he ends up starting it, but he's still longing for that limelight in some way to relive it. And Tommy Gunn shows up and he decides, okay, I'll be a manager. So he's kind of back in it. He's in pictures and all this stuff. And there's a video where there's a part of the movie where he's watching Tommy Gunn, and it's after they'd split. And Tommy Gunn is wham, 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 just kicking tail in the ring. And Rocky's really into it, and you can see he's boom, and everybody's worried because they know there's more going on here. You should think that when you see these people. See this? There's more going on here. The rings are closed. The theaters are closed. They're not, the theaters, these places, Disney, all of them. They're dropping movies. There was terrible rumors about the problems going on the set of Batman, which would break my heart. It'd break my heart. I'm looking forward to that movie. And I don't care that he's super skinny. That doesn't bother me at all. And they're like, well, he's not buff. And I'm like, dude, Adam West wasn't buff. And I think, personally, I kind of think that would be cool. It would be a different take. So what? Who cares? But they want people to go out and vote. We have an important message for voters, so we got naked. And some of these people just, they shouldn't. Ever on video, but maybe even in private, like Schumer. Took to Instagram on Wednesday where she posted the video of her account. Hey, I'm naked. Look, I'm out of here. I'm just gone. I think that's actually what a lot of people did too. They saw that and they said, we're out. Bye. Sick young Trump supporter receives box of bloody animal parts in the mail and cryptic note for supporting President Trump. Is it a hex from a cult? Look at this. Imagine if you got this, by the way. This is where we've gotten, guys. Trump supporter Jackson Alexander was sent a bloody box of animal guts and a threatening letter accusing him of posting racist, transphobic TikToks. The box included bloody animal parts and photos of Joe Biden. According to Jackson, once I opened it, we saw the animal guts and a horrific odor came from the box. Inside the box, there were two distorted, mangled, raw animal chunks with a bunch of blood, thumbtacks, and 4 pictures of Joe Biden, along with his cryptic letter that accused him of being a, quote, racist, transphobic, and someone who, quote, wears KKK just because I made TikToks supporting Trump. It's where we are, guys. Just it's brazen wickedness and brazen hypocrisy. This lady here, how is she not in trouble, by the way, for inciting the mass violence that we are seeing spreading all over the United States? Do you remember the video of her where she's sitting there? If you see any Trump supporter, if you see them in public, if you see them in a gas station, if you see them at a restaurant, you get up in their face and you make them uncomfortable. Blah! Remember that? She's a ringleader of violence. People have gotten banned from Twitter for less. Uncle BG1 says Father Ripperger, the exorcist, said that one of the most common occurrences is that possessed people get naked. Even in scripture. That's, hey, man, good point, by the way. And thank you for checking out the show. It's true. Father Ripperger, man, I've seen so many of his videos, man. Powerful priest. I saw, what's his name? Is it Altman? What's his name? Saw him on Church Militant. He was pretty excited. He was kind of fascinated by the entire scene. There was a really cool set too, the way that the way that Michael Vorish used the set there, right? Actually, it wasn't, I don't think it was technically a set. It was just where they have a lot of the cameras kind of stored. And he said, let's just use this. It was really cool. I liked how they did that. And it kind of showed people an inside peek, right, at what they've got going there. It's an amazing thing. God's obviously done remarkable things through Church Militant. And yeah, Brian, I thought inciting violence was illegal. Yes, dude, that's what I'm saying. So not only is she inciting violence, she's one of those crazy people who was talking about a mandate for face masks. Oh, and then lo and behold, what happens? Dun, 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 not wearing one. The law is for thee, not for me. Says every elitist scumbag that has ever existed. They don't understand the American spirit. They don't. She doesn't get it. She doesn't understand the American spirit that says Lex Rex. She is a Rex Lex person. Or what would that be? The king is law, yes. She'd be a king is law person. Queen is law. Royalty is law. I don't need to submit myself to that. And she was the one, who did she go after, man? What was his name? Oh my gosh, 999. Was that, who was that? Just died. Herman Cain. She went after Herman Cain at the Capitol because of the mask thing. And lo and behold, guess what? She's not wearing one. These people are grotesque hypocrites, man. Violent, crazy maniacs. Inciting violence. Get her out, man. Cuff her up. Find the living daylights out of her. Shame her. Do it. Why not? Why not, right? What a joke. What a joke. She's a joke. I feel bad saying that somebody's a joke, because that really does, in a way, kind of diminish just how terrible it is. Sunday Night Football ratings plummet 39%. Lowest numbers in nearly 2 years. I care so much about that right now that I'm skipping right over it. There's highlights and everything. Don't even care. Get woke. Go broke. NBA announces Marxist BLM messages on the court and jerseys will be largely left off the floor next season after the ratings collapse. Yes. Oh, imagine that. They admit it wasn't very popular with people. Yeah, because Black Lives Matter is an organization. It's not just a message. It's an organization. And if you go to the organization, they're against things like the nuclear family. And there's a lot of nuclear families that are watching your content. What's wrong with you, man? Gosh. Come on, man. It's amazing. You know how many kids that are part of nuclear families watch the NBA and watch the NFL? Watch all of them. Even the National Hockey League got in on it. Do you know how many of those families? They are literally your bread and your butter. And you're supporting an organization that wants to see that dismantled. Why? Because they're commies. Because they're communists. End of story. You probably aren't too bright. You probably aren't too bright. Just because you're making all that money doesn't mean you're all that bright. Like LeBron. Like LeBron. What a joke. NBA Commissioner Adam Silver announced this week it's going down. It's going down. And what did he say? Yeah, they're going to have to, sit down and talk about the messages, But it was an extraordinary moment in time when we began these discussions with players and what we all lived through this summer. You lived through a delusion. You lived through a delusion that is premised on lies, statistical. And look, you are involved with money and sports. This is all about statistics, man. All about statistics, and yet you don't get it? You're basing the message off of a false stat? They took you for a ride. This is emotional manipulation. This is sadomasochistic. It's manipulative. It's so bad. But there's a reason why. There's a reason why. Look at this. Perfect storm 2020 facing our republic. All three branches of government are in peril. Historical discovery and election is an election in 1917 forecasted the election in 2020. There are the elements from 103 years ago. You got to read this. Claims that the poor were going to be disenfranchised of their votes. The scheduled voting was extended by 2 months. Division, violence, slander, and libel are widespread. The delusional, cunning, conniving campaign made unrealistic promises to win the population. Anger and mob violence were deliberately stirred against privilege, possessions, status. Deceptive claims persuaded the majority they were robbed of their electoral victory. Inevitable civil war was sparked at the election's end because Lenin's group failed to win the majority. The dissolution of the old state and a transformation of the new system was promised to lead to true socialism. But it brought history's worst and longest ruling tyrant. I'm going to skip over that. We'll talk about that later. We'll talk about this one tomorrow, too, because this is a good one. So we'll talk about how does this happen? How does this happen? Propaganda. In fact, we'll talk about this one, and then we'll go to memes, and I'll save the whole conversation about the Proud Boys for the conversation about resolution. Like, how do we resolve this? Tomorrow is going to be a thing about it's time to fight. It's time to fight. I've said this from the beginning. This is war. I told my buddy, I said, I hate the fact that I'm even in this place, because I'm the kind of guy that wants to give credit where it's due. And I try to still do this. I try to give credit where it's due. I try to give blame where it's due, to the extent that it's due. And I would say that I don't care what political party, what religion you're part of. If you actually say something that is good and wise, that's great. If you say something that will bring genuine peace and justice to our lives, great. Otherwise, we can debate it. But we're at a place right now in time. And I've been predicting this, and I've been lamenting it. And for years of my life, I was resolved to fight against it, to try to stop it, to be in the middle and say, let's reach out. Let's figure out how to make this work. And I failed. And I can be the kind of guy that sits there and wishes that we were back in the days of the wagon wheel. I could be the kind of guy that laments and says, man, I wish we just didn't have the internet. With the mindset of closing my eyes and ears, me no see it, me no hear it. Be an escapist. Or nostalgic that sits there and goes, hey, I'm going to go ahead and have a niche thing. And look, I'm not ripping on anything like that. I like going to those old ghost towns and stuff where people dress up like Westerns and everything. But that's their job, man. And they may really like it. I like vintage stuff. I listen to classic rock. I still watch black and white TV. I enjoy that. Shows. Not my TV is not that old. I got a nice TV, actually. But to sit there and say, you know what, I'm going to go to this escapist world. I'm going to go to this place and just imagine that this is real. I'm not going to LARP this, guys. I'm not going to LARP this. And I still, in my heart, I say, look, let's figure out a way that we can reach across the aisle and somehow stop this. But I believe in my heart of hearts that we are at a time right now, a Kairos moment, right now, where it's one of two ways. One of two ways. It is either going to be that we drop to our knees in repentance to God and return to the old-time faith, period, end of story, which, by the way, there are many different ideas and models. It's not as if you embrace that all of a sudden we all think the exact same thing. That's nonsense. From that paradigm, from that worldview, came the Western civilization that allowed for all of this. In fact, that in many ways has its own suicide button. And the left right now is pounding it. But it also has a mechanism within it that says that, yes, the ideal is that we need to fight in the realm of ideas, but at some point, you need to rise up. Because the idea that you can just sit there like a pacifist, like some kind of Mennonite pacifist, and watch as this comes down, you are wrong. You are wrong. I wish it wasn't so. I wish I could sit here and just do like I did my entire life with radio and TV. To just talk about the news and not feel in some ways that I'm shining the brass on a sinking ship. But we aren't there anymore. It's so sad. I knew people that feared that this kind of thing would come years and years ago. And I would tell them, get behind me, Satan. Because this is scary. I'm not saying this for likes and dislikes. I'm not big enough to even play that game. I'm saying this because I genuinely fear for the Republic. Genuinely. There's no rah-rah with this right now. I genuinely fear for the Republic. And I wonder, where are those that can save it? Will God cause them to rise up? Because if they don't rise up, and if people don't kneel down in repentance, then there is going to be blood. There is going to be blood. I don't want to see anybody hurt. I don't want to see anybody hurt. I don't want to see any violence. I don't want to see anything like this. I loathe it. I loathe it with all of my heart. But this is as old as time. What is it? The book of Jeremiah. There are two paths. In fact, that's where the name Paleocrat came from. The ancient path. We have to take it. Escape to go back. We have to take it. Because we know where that other path leads. We're seeing it right now. And it's not just, the thing is, it's not new. We've seen this for a long time. You can go back in history and look and say, none of this is new. This happens. Are there ways to diffuse it? Are there? The fourth turning is fatalistic about it and says, look, we're due for a big war. We're due for a big one. And all of the ingredients are set. You can look at it and say, oh my gosh. You can lay out a map. You can put little pins all over the map that show different crises going all over the world. And these aren't small. These are paradigm clashes, civilizational clashes, fundamental, at the roots, foundational clashes that are boom, boom. And there's intersections, those volatile, super mega hot, fiery hot, lava hot intersections of civilizational models that are competing. That's where we are. And so tomorrow I want to talk about what can we do? What is a nation? Why is this even worth doing? Why is this worth fighting for? What can be done? Or are we just lost? Are we just lost? And I don't believe that we are. I like having fun. We're gonna talk about memes here in a second. Right? I obviously love to have fun because we're gonna talk about memes, and I've been assured that there are some really great memes. The staff worked extra hard. Allie shared some. In fact, I had some listeners that shared some memes. Really great. Sent them as this is cool because I get a lot on social media, but sent it to the email paleocratdiaries@gmail.com. But I have fun talking about all this. But the truth is, if we just do that, then we're like the people who are just carrying on playing music as the world's coming crashing down. It's okay, man. We're all going to die anyway, right? I'm not that. I'm not that. I'm not a fatalist in either direction. I'm not a fatalist that says it's just marching forward. It's inevitable that we have a new world order. It's inevitable that globalism wins. It's inevitable that multiculturalism wins. It's inevitable that Marxism wins. I don't buy that line. I don't buy the historical dialectic here with that. At the same time, I don't buy the idea that we should just sit back and say, well, just enjoy your life, live a good life. There's enough people out there that do that. I'm not of that stock. And if you're watching the show, you probably aren't either. Like the people in the comments section talking about begging God for mercy. That God is our only hope. Saying amen to that. And not everybody in the comment section. I know I've got unbelievers that watch. It's true. I got people all across the spectrum that watch. There are progressives that watch the show. There's probably deep state people who watch the show. They see the symbols. They see the signs. They know. They see the colors. All right. But that's tomorrow. And remember, Monday, I'll say this ahead of time. Monday, you got to remember, it's not going to be live in the sense that this is where I'm actively engaging with things. I'm going to have to record it on Sunday. Or I'm going to have to just have a kind of a best of compilation, which I'm kind of thinking of doing. I think that'd be a lot of fun. And so we'll see about that. I might do like the best of where it's like, you got the best funny stuff, and zingers. Because this is a fun show. We have a good time. And the greatest rants, where you're just, wow. Dylan asks, are you subtweeting me? Yes, dude. No, yes, you, dude. I'm glad. And Dylan, I know him. I know some of the people in the comment section. I'm glad to see increasingly more people that I don't. Right. And it's always kind of been that way, right? There's always been more people that I don't. But with this stream here, I'm always relieved to see people I know, especially people that go back a ways. You're my anchor, buddy. You're good. You're that yin to the yang with me. Because we don't agree, but yet at the same time, we have a level of love and respect that shows how this can work and how it ought to. And like I've had conversations. I won't put them on the air. I've had conversations with you. And if you'd like to have conversations with me, or you'd like to send me funny stories or funny memes or interview suggestions, articles that you would like me to talk about, books you'd like for me to check out and read, even movies, make sure to email me at paleocratdiaries@gmail.com. All right. Now. Oh, hold on. I can't put it on here yet because I'm not supposed to be able to see these. I'm not supposed to be able to see. I can't look. Yeah, okay. It's supposed to be like a surprise. You know what I'm saying? The whole meme thing. Here we go. Blam. Here we go. Let me take a drink of this coffee. So, by the way, Thunderdome Thursday has been fun. I hope you enjoyed the Thunderdome. It's not always going to be the Thunderdome. What's up, Judy? Morning, everybody, from Kami, California. It was California yesterday. Yeah, Judy, nice to see you. Nice to see you back. All right. I always love it, man, seeing repeat people. You get to know somebody, you see some comments, something that makes you remember. California, I'll always remember. I'll always remember that. And weren't you the red hair person, too? Strawberry blonde, was that you? Okay. So here's the memes. Got this from one of the viewers, Brian. If you used one of these back in the day, chances are you're immune to everything. Dude, that thing, do you guys remember those? Like, now that I'm thinking about it, man, that is pretty gross. That really is pretty nasty. Oh, man. Yeah, think of how many germs, man, would be on there. A lot of herd immunity going on. We had that at the high school, didn't we? In the gymnasiums. That's even grosser, man, if you think about it. It'd be in the gym. And what's the point of it, like, going through that? Was there I guess I never replaced any of those things, and so was there any kind of cleaning that was supposed to happen inside the metal on the roller? Or was it just simply to let the gunk dry? I can only imagine what's on there. Ah. Okay. This one comes from Cherie. If Liar's pants really did catch on fire, watching the news would be more fun. Yeah. Oh, man, dude. Well, I don't know, because if they really did, I don't know how often they would lie, right? They would be like, I don't think so. No way. Speaking of no way, what the heck is this? Breaking news, a bear named Big Boy was raiding honey production facilities near Turkey's a province in Turkey. An agricultural engineer saw an opportunity and used Big Boy's night raids as a test to determine which type of honey was the best. In multiple double-blind trials, Big Boy always preferred the rare, expensive honey. It's called Anzer. Followed closely by chestnut, flower, and pinewood honey. Big Boy noticeably steered away from low-quality supermarket cherry jam made with corn syrup. Okay. When life gives you bears, trick them into doing market research. Yeah, okay. I'm like, what's it? This is an interesting point. Yeah, those bears, man, no way. So apparently, yeah, you guys tucked one of those things in there. Because, maybe I'm using this as an opportunity to kind of let out, the idea that I have bear phobia. Or bear in your house phobia. I think it's a technical diagnosis right now. Very scientific term. Bear in your house phobia. If you're afraid of guns, just remember that even Winnie the Pooh was armed when he heard a bump in the night. Yes, man. That's crazy. There you go. Is it just me, or has McDonald's gone from a happy child to a depressed middle-aged adult? Okay, there is a point about this, actually. And I won't talk about it right now. But there's a really great video. There's a number of them, in fact. What was his name, man? Oh my gosh. British guy, died recently. Brilliant man, talked about architecture. My buddy read a book, my buddy Atticus read a book by him not long ago. And it talks about the way that businesses have changed, or even homes and neighborhoods, how architecture has changed. And he laments this. If you look at the old McDonald's, that's actually appealing and stylistic. The other one looks like a hellscape. It's like, we believe in efficiency. The other one's like, we're happy, we're fun, we're artistic. Come on in and eat. Yeah. And that's how homes, think about the way that homes and churches and other things used to be. And how that's changed in modern times. And now it's efficiency, and you've got these square blobs of brick. When you're strong, independent, and take responsibility for yourself. That's my concern, guys. Is that these animals are beginning to do this. This animal's like, I am taking care of it on my own. Probably going to the business that it operates. Maybe even the manager at that McDonald's right there. Oh, okay. Promised my kid ice cream if his team won. This is what motivation looks like. Dude, look at his face. Look at his face. He is so intense, man. Look at those eyeballs. Look at the top right, man. Oh, look at all of them. Oh, he won. Oh. See, these are people mixing it up with the animals, dude. This is not wise, guys. This is just not wise. Grandma, all these people think about is sex these days. Grandma. Okay, yeah. Oh, man, that's true. I bet you that people have always thought that everybody's always thinking about that. And even when they didn't, the priest knew otherwise. The priest knew otherwise. Video. Detroit driver. And how many kids, by the way? Let's count this up. 3, 6, 3, 6, 9, 12, 13, 14, 15. My mom was one of 11. They had neighbors who had more than that. Man. That's unbelievable, by the way. I don't even know how that's intense, dude. That is intense. You just don't see many families like that anymore. Yeah, video. Detroit driver arrested after successfully jumping over drawbridge. Oh, I'm sorry. I thought this was America. Yeah, dude. Yeah. Probably a good old boy. Look at this. Look at that, by the way. How would you feel doing that? Look at that car. Isn't that just nuts? Imagine the intensity. It blew out all the tires. He must have just never seen any documentary about the Dukes of Hazzard. Oh, come on, man. Saving up to get my other sleeve done. Okay, yeah. It does look like that, though. Look at that. It's kind of cute, too. He doesn't look too impressed, though. He doesn't look too impressed. Storytime chair. Oh. Have you guys ever seen one of those things for real? I need one right now. Here, hold on a second. Allie Lovesick. I need you to look into a Storytime chair stat. All right. Oh, yeah. On the ball here. On the ball. Invest. Yes, I already took your advice. Pumpkins age like meth heads. Oh, yeah, dude, look at the face. Have you seen those pictures of the people? The people that, like, they're, like, maybe mega hot or at least normal, right? They look like kind of normies. And then you kind of see over the years when they get arrested for different things involving freebasing and stuff, and hooking a lot of times. And then after a while, I mean, they look like that pumpkin on the bottom. It's so true. It's so true. They look like those dry apple heads. What are those things called, by the way? Yeah. Let's see here. Judy says, when Biden gets in, no more hamburgers. On to tofu burgers. That can't happen, man. I'm back on the carnivore. I didn't say this at the beginning. I ate my son's birthday cake yesterday. I had it in the freezer since last month. And I had a cookie in there. I've been saving it. And I said, I've been over the 30 days. It was a 30-day trial. I'm going to keep doing it. I'm doing it again today. I felt great. I've lost a significant amount of weight. I'm very happy about the weight that I'm losing, the way that I feel. But I didn't overindulge. I did, and I ate pizza, which was also part, it's kind of party time stuff. So ate that, but didn't gorge myself and ate nothing else. In fact, I was probably well under any kind of, calorie count. I don't really worry about that on carnivore, though. Yeah. But food, meat, we got to defend it, man. We got to defend it. Only place I used those was in a Chinese restaurant. Should be good for COVID. What are you talking about? What are you talking about, Uncle? Nicole, good morning. You're at the meme part, Nicole, by the way. Starkaniski. Yeah. And just a reminder, all those people, and again, thank you for returning. I am happy to see you. Yeah. Okay, let's see here. We're marching on. Thunderdome Thursday. All right. Was it a Thunderdome, guys? Was it a Thunderdome? I feel like we're living in the Thunderdome. I was going to wear these gloves. Right here. I was going to wear them and be like, blah, and put them things on and look kind of cool. I had a pair of sunglasses. Where are those sunglasses? I was going to wear these. Actually, I might wear them right now. Let's see. See if I just should have worn them. Maybe I'll do that in the future. These are my Chanels. Oh my gosh, it's true. It is true. Oh my gosh, what is this? A pangolin? Have you guys ever seen one of these buggers? Look at his hands. He's like the nicest gentleman I've ever seen. Look at that. Look at that little guy. He looks like he's hiding behind little things. Is there an animal that's actually cuter than that? Is there? Stay off the train tracks. What does it say? They are only for trains. If you can read this, you're not a train. Blind people. Oh, yeah. That's ableist. Dude, you know that's going to be taken off all of a sudden. Or maybe there's Braille on there. I don't know. You know, can you guys see that? Zoom in on that. Maybe get a good texture. And they're like, oh my gosh. It's clear to me who was the most photogenic in this picture. Dude, look at that guy smiling. Is that real? It looks like it. That is like the nicest smile. Look at his face. And yeah, it's true. Everybody else, I don't want to say they're hit, but we maybe a little bit. Maybe a tiny. Natives should have total power and control over their homeland and decide what to do with it. OMG, yes! Oh, yeah. Well, actually, yeah, okay. Oh, dokes. Yeah, they're like, well, I don't know about that. That's racist. Judy says she loves the shades. Yeah. Thank you very much. I love them too. I have a couple pairs of aviators. These are by far my favorite ones. By far. Nicole says, one time a friend of my ex's jumped onto the LRT train tracks. Wow. And a voice boomed over the intercom, get off the tracks! Oh, man. I'm screaming, whose little man is this? Dude, okay. Them buggers there, those little guys, that guy, when I was dating my wife, this is before we were engaged, I was at the submarine base in New London, Connecticut. She's back in Michigan, and we're just racking up minutes, right, on the old cell phones. This is back in the day, too. It's like Nextel stuff, right? And so we're talking and everything, and, I got a little bit insecure at one point because I would call her, and we'd have these conversations late into the night, and she'd start fading off. And at first I thought maybe she's asleep and it's kind of cute. Oh, no. There was a dog. It was a puppy. And she would just get so, oh my gosh, this cute little puppy. I'm like, what? This is costing me like $100 a second to talk to you. Didn't I have to buy, were we buying cards back then? Those like phone cards? Is that what was going on? And then I'm like, dude, I'm paying so much money out of this, When you zone out in class for 2 seconds. Yeah. When you zone out of Paleocrat Diaries for 2 seconds. That's what happens, guys. That is what happens. You're like, you start the show and you're like, oh my gosh, okay, he's talking about the animal takeover of the planet. Dolphins eating pufferfish, getting blown out like, Hunter S. Thompson style, Timothy Leary stuff. And then all of a sudden, by the end, you're talking about, the whole world caving in and now we got to rise up. And you're like, whoa. I guess those two things connect. Just part of the overall problem. This girl and her dog just saved a mom goat with her newborn baby. That's adorable, man. Look at the little goat sticking his head out. He's like so happy. He's like, dude, thank you, bro. Thank you for that. But he is a little bit upset. Maybe the mom is not in that picture. Oh yeah, she is. She's with the other mom, right? But it looks like the mom is a little bit grumpy because that dog is not wearing any kind of barrel. Where's the hot cocoa? It's not even hot cocoa. Where's the whiskey? I need the booze. Apple is rolling out gender-neutral Santa Claus. Oh, no, they are not. Is it? I've been duped before. Fact check this stat, guys. Tell me if I'm being hoodwinked. Tell me if I'm being hoodwinked. I can't deal with this. No way. Hello, land dog. I'm water dog. Now, that might be, is that big water dog that we showed earlier in the show? Is that what that is? He was partying. And look, he's whispering in his ear. It's the plot, guys. We have a picture. We're going to see a lot of this in the future. You're going to see more and more pictures where as you see it, you go, I know that's cute, but they might also be whispering plans for world domination. What is this one? Why didn't anybody send me this? There's no word. What are they doing? Oh my gosh. Do you guys see that? There's a little bit of a Where's Waldo in this picture. Tell me if you see it. Tell me if you know what this is about. Okie dokie. Almost done, I think. Here we go. My cat always covers the private parts when sleeping on his back because he's a decent, upstanding member of society. You know, that is adorable. I'm not going to lie. I think those actors and actresses should have maybe followed his lead instead of doing that naked video that everybody barfed watching. Nobody liked that. My wife's boyfriend came over without a mask. Should I call the police? Oh, man. Calling all prayer warriors. That guy needs help. On multiple levels. On multiple levels. My wife's boyfriend came over. If people are all caught up with the masks, you guys ain't seeing the big picture. There's a problem here. A real problem. What's up with, man? I think the staff has been, okay, there's a lot of these memes that are really starting to look like the takeover. Good Boy Airlines. Have you ever were you on that flight? Did that flight make it? Maybe he's maybe he's really good. I mean, look, Sky King was really good, never flew a plane, but he played video games. Imagine traffic control, they're like, oh, yeah, we're trying to reach out to you, and he's like, okay, I guess. It's the way the world's going now. We've gotten to that point. Your mom called me a good boy last night. Oh, that's a little bit inappropriate, but dude, come on. Now they're playing video games. What is it that these animals are not going to do? We're so hosed, guys. We are hosed. If it's gotten to this point where they're not only trolling you, punking you, but they're doing it. And look, it's multiple laptops. And look at the communication. I knew it. I knew it. PS5 will have 4K graphics. Me using the same TV since 2012. That was, honestly, that was actually true for us until recently. I think my mom just finally had it. She's like, look, I love you guys. Your brother, I mentioned him earlier. He's got disabilities and stuff. He loves watching TV when he comes over. Sometimes we watch different cartoons and things, have a good time with that, or watch movies. He's a really great guy. And she's like, you got to have a better TV. You got to do it. We're coming up on the end here. Okay, last two. Here we go, guys. Here we go. It's coming up on the end. When you have no idea what's going on, but you still try to help. Oh, the dog. So yesterday it's all political memes, and today, what do you guys do? You heighten the spook. You heighten the whole phobia I've got. You guys are terrible human beings. Terrible, terrible human beings. When you're chill with everyone. Dude, this is the future. Soak it up, America. Soak it up. Just look at this. Obviously, this is like the inner, so you're seeing kind of the commune, right? This is what it's all about. That in private, they're really like this. Maybe David Attenborough is a propagandist on more levels than we know. And he's showing these videos, and it's all fake. It's all fake. Those animals aren't mauling each other. Look, they're buddies. They're boys. Right now. Okay. Here we go. Last thing with the comments, and then we're out. Gender neutral Santa. How about they just make Mrs. Claus also delivering presents if they need to? That's a good idea. It's a good idea. It's better than Tranny Claus. It appeared the husband may be a what? Yes. Maybe a watcher. Yeah. Kind of like what's his name, man? Oh, and I feel bad saying this. Jerry Falwell Jr. Jerry Falwell Jr. And there's a pastor out of Kalamazoo. It also got busted for that sort of thing. And Nicole Starkaniski. Is that am I pronouncing that right? Starkaniski. I seriously would have the same old TV forever. I don't care what it looks like. But my hubby got this giant 60-something inch TV we barely could fit on our mantle downstairs. Nearly touches the ceiling. Yeah, ours is like a 55 inch. I was willing to get something, what was it, like 30-something inches or whatever? I was willing to get one, not super huge, a little bigger than my computer screen. I got a big computer here. I was willing to do that. My mom, she's all like, yeah, she's like, look, I think the one I got for your sister is a little bit bigger. And so she calls up my brother-in-law, and he's like, yeah, 55 inch. And my eyes just, I said, oh, are you kidding me? So we got this massive TV upstairs now. And I mean, it's great. It works really good for reaction videos and stuff. Speaking of that. All right, everybody. It's come to an end. It's a sad thing. We got to have like sad music. We got to figure this out. You know, I'll get Allie on it right away. Right away to find some really sad music. Kind of like at the end of Ren and Stimpy. When they were really sad that they had to go. And Stimpy didn't want to go. But Ren always reminded him, we're going to be back. And the truth is, I'm going to be back. I'll be back tomorrow, 10 o'clock in the morning. We're going to have a bunch of really great stories. And tomorrow is going to be a bigger focus. I don't even care what the news is tomorrow. I don't, unless it's like earth-shattering. If it's like, oh, riots, I'm going to say, oh, yeah, okay, whatever. We already know that. We already know that. If it's like, oh, my gosh, Biden is still, messed up. Oh, okay, yeah, I know that. Or Trump is a tyrant. Like, we already know that. So I'm not going to do anything like that tomorrow. Nothing. We're not going to do any of that. We're going to have, of course, fun in the beginning. We're going to find crazy, fun stories. Those are always a real good time. We're going to have memes, of course, at the end. Make sure if you want to send anything to me, memes, funny stories, serious stories, book suggestions, interview suggestions, because we're working behind the scenes. Allie and the crew are working hard behind the scenes to make all of this happen so that we can begin having interviews. But I'd love to hear, who would you like me to interview? Who, if you could see someone on this show, who do you think would not only be good, but that would really just enjoy themselves with the kind of style and stuff that we do? Right? Because it's a special flavor, right? I mean, this is like corn whiskey stuff, man. You better be ready. You better be ready. Pedal to the metal, son. Sister. And look, man, woman, doesn't matter. I'd love to interview anybody, so go ahead and email that to paleocratdiaries@gmail.com. Of course, you can go to paleocratdiaries.com for anything to do, not only with interviews, but also speeches. I talked to somebody at a big media group recently, and they asked, what are you doing right now, with your life? Apparently, he's not following closely. You should be watching. You're busted, right? But I, about speeches and said, I haven't done those in a long time. I love doing speeches. I've spoken in front of crowds at a number of universities, even high schools, churches, even Make-A-Wish, Michigan, at their big annual event. Okay. So, and that's actually available. You can hear a number of my speeches, both on Facebook and on YouTube. Of course, YouTube at Paleocrat. So very grateful for all of that. Make sure to check out Paleo Cheese Podcast. There'll be a new episode this upcoming weekend. So on Sunday, Meaning of Catholic tomorrow. And I should have said this at the beginning. I totally forgot. Tomorrow, I am debating the great Tim Flanders. And we are going to debate, are Catholics and Christians obliged, should they feel compelled in that sense, to vote for Donald J. Trump. And I think y'all know where I'm coming from. And so that ain't even going to be a thing. We're going to have a really fun time. I love that guy. I love what he does over at Meaning of Catholic. If you don't know anything about that, you have to check it out. And you'll see some of my writings. I've done a couple over there. Very powerful, if I can say so myself. Other people have said so. I'll put it that way. Many people have said, a great number of people, including critics, have said that my best work, in fact, is found over there in my most recent 2 pieces about that. And one of them will make you cry, so make sure that you are not, make sure you're not in company that's going to be a problem. So, all right, thank you so much. Hit me up, by the way. If you want to connect with me, don't forget this. If you want to connect and speak and just have conversations, I'm always open. I answer less when it comes from Twitter or Facebook. I still reply. I try to. But if you send an email and you want to talk at a deeper level about these things, I always make sure to check that email, and I try to make sure to reply. I've got a couple replies that I'm actually drafting up today. And so they weren't sent to the right place. They were sent to my other email that I'm kind of using as junk now. So make sure if you want to connect with me, make sure to connect at paleocratdiaries@gmail.com. Until next time, never give up, keep on smiling, and memento mori. If I don't talk into microphones, I don't make that mad cash. Making all that money. Making that mad loot, right?
Mind control.
So we see the minority elite imposing their ideology on an unwilling and resentful populace. This causes a backlash. People get ticked off. The left is working long and hard to make us feel as if we've done something wrong. Worse yet, that we are the problem. Don't let people just rip on your heritage. Don't let people just rip on your traditions. Don't let people rip on your heroes. Stand up for what you believe, what made you who you are. So unless this disenfranchised majority begins standing up for what they believe in their heart of hearts to be true, I think we'd be left with nothing more than a dirge, and maybe a funeral procession.